The next one wants us to find all the real zeros of the function. If there is more than one answer, separate them with commas. Well, when they're talking about finding the real zeros, they're talking about where this equation equals 0. And we solved all those equations by factoring them out, which they already are. So what I'm going to do is set each of my factors equal to that 0 and solve. Now in this case, you don't need to do the 2 because there's no x's with it. There's nothing to solve for. So I'm going to say either the x minus 3 would equal 0 or the x minus 4 would equal 0. And then I'm just going to solve those two things. Here, if I'm going to solve that first one, what do I do with my 3?
You're going to move it over?
Move it over and make it a positive. So x is going to equal 3. Here, when I move the 4 over,
Positive.
makes it positive 4. So 3 and 4 are going to be my two answers. So number 5 again, find all the real zeros of the function, which tells me that this part's going to equal 0 instead of the f of x. And I'm going to take each of my factors, set them equal to 0. This time I'm going to have 3 factors because you do see there is an x with this one. So either the 5x is going to equal 0, the x squared minus 25 is going to equal 0, or the x minus 7 is going to equal 0. And then I got to solve those. So on the first one, if I want to solve that for x, what would I do?
Are we going to take the 5 and move it over?
By doing what?
Are we going to make it a negative 5?
Nope, because it's
Divide
not
it.
5 plus. We're going to divide it, exactly. It's not 5 plus x, it's 5 times x. So we divide by that 5, and 0 divided by 5, just going to give me 0 on that one. Now the next one has the squared term in it. If it has the squared term in it, I have to solve it by factoring it out, right? Because that one's going to give me 2 answers. So I got to have my 2 sets of parentheses and factor that. Factors of x squared, x and x, right? My signs. Since the end is negative, I know I have to have 1 plus and 1 minus. Factors of 25. What times what is 25?
5 times 5.
5 and 5. And in this case, it's the difference of perfect squares, and we want 0 in the middle. Well, negative 5 and a positive 5 is 0, so we've got it factored right. That means I'm going to have 2 different answers on this one because I've got 2 sets of factors. So, if x plus 5 equals 0, and I got to move my 5 to the other side, that's going to give me a minus 5 answer. And on the other one, if x minus 5 equals 0 and I got to move my 5 over, that's going to give me a positive 5 answer. Well, if you messed them up, nobody would ever know, but you just got to do the opposite when I move those over. On the last one, if I want to solve that one for x, I'm going to...
You are going to... move your 7, yeah,
So I'm going to plus my 7.
plus your 7.
So on this one, I've got 4 different answers. X could be 0, could be negative 5, could be positive 5. That doesn't even look right good. 0, negative 5, positive 5, or 7. This doesn't quite write exactly where I think it's going to write. So I'm going to put 4 answers in on that one.
Oh, so I'm going to put x minus, okay.
We got 0 here,
Yep.
we got a minus 5 and a positive 5 here, and we got a 7 there. All 4 of them are going to go in.
0 minus 5 minus 7. Okay.
All right. So number 6. How shall we solve number 6? If I want to find the zeros of my function.
Okay. 3x equals 0. negative 6.
X doesn't equal negative 6. How do I start that one?
Oh, 1?
No. I got to set it equal to 0 first, right?
Oh, no, yeah, x
So,
minus 6.
X minus 6
X
equals 0.
Equals 0.
And then when I solve it,
I'm going to move my 6, make it a positive 6.
so X equals 6, right?
X equals 6. And then this one, x squared plus 9 equals 0. And you get a factor. Right?
Yep.
X and X, 5 plus 5 and 4 minus 4.
Now remember, you have to do the factors of this n number. What times what is 9?
Oh, 3.
So, plus 3 and plus 3. But if I do a plus 3 and a plus 3, what would I get in the middle?
You're going to get a 0.
Plus 3 and a
6.
it's going to give you a 6. This isn't going to work because the only way I'm going to get it is I'm going to get 6. Because in order to get a 0, I'd have to have a plus and a minus.
No solution.
So, if this is a minus sign, I can factor it. But if it's a plus sign, I can't because I'm going to add two numbers together and I'm not going to get 0 that way.
Oh, okay, I see.
So in this case, I'm only going to get two answers. I'm going to get 0 and 6 because that last one I couldn't do. I do try to solve it by factoring, but it doesn't factor.